Student loan debt now stands at $1.6 trillion and counting. And as we have been reporting, it affects career choices, home buying prospects, even marriage rates. Yet an estimated $40 billion in financial aid resources goes untapped every year. And that's why a 20-something New York City entrepreneur got the bright idea to find a better way to match students with those aid programs, and it's for free for users. For most, the free application for student financial aid, or FAFSA, is complicated. Even with an MBA, David Holder has his own set of adjectives.
It was quite daunting. It seemed like it was never ending. It was a bit challenging. It took a couple days.
More than a third of eligible students don't bother completing the 100-plus questions that FAFSA asks. They're missing out, not only on federal grants, loans, and work-study jobs, but also aid from states and individual schools. Holder's daughter, Delaney, an incoming freshman at the University of Pennsylvania, saw her friends struggle with it, too.
A lot of my friends really didn't know what they were doing. It was something so painful. My mom still complains about it.
That's why Charlie Javis and her team built a site called Frank.
If there could be a technology solution where you did not need to be financially literate to actually file this form, that would be a success.
They worked in person with Bronx students back in 2016, learning enough to launch the site in the spring of 2017. In just 1 month, 10,000 students flocked to Frank and filed FAFSAs. A little more than 2 years later, 500,000 Frank users have secured more than $7 billion in aid. The site helps them prevent a lot of common mistakes, which can drive up their debt.
List whatever is the minimum in your account. If not, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Despite the early traction, Frank's path to revenue wasn't immediately clear. But as tech companies often learn, the answers lie in the data.
Schools are having a really challenging time when it comes to enrollment today. So we started building a feature that would recommend a good match for them to send their FAFSA to.
Many who need aid apply to only 1 or 2 schools, but Frank helps them cast a wider net.
Little did we know a few months later, it could also be valuable to schools where they said, wait a second, can we play?
Now, about 2,000 schools are paying Frank to help them find students who fit both their academic communities and their financial aid guidelines. Frank won't say how much they pay for access, only that it can make up a significant amount of marketing budgets running well into 6 figures per month. But Frank's core is the free FAFSA service.
I was like, oh my God, this is extremely complicated. I don't know what to do.
Frank can help students like Enmi Blanco from the Bronx navigate details like figuring out adjusted gross income versus straight salary, or excluding real estate and 401ks from liquid assets. Blanco turned to Frank before her junior year in college, completing the application in minutes.
It tells you take line 58 from the income tax, subtract line 57 from it, and then that's what you're putting here. The financial aid website does not do that.
They match you with a school.
David Holder wants that kind of help, not only for his daughter, but also younger brother Jeremiah, who's likely headed to college in 3 years.
A one-stop shop place, if there is one, that would be extremely helpful.
And that, quite frankly, is what Charlie Javis is hoping to accomplish. By the way, Frank also offers non-FAFSA financial advisory services for less than $20 per month. The annual deadline, by the way, to complete a FAFSA just passed on June 30th, but it does open again for the 2020 school year on October 1st.